Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Story Darlings podcast. I am Sandra.
And I'm Tara.
And you want to go into a little bit about what we're talking about today, Tara?
Yeah, so today we are going to be talking about Taylor Swift, who I love. So this is going to be great. And one of her songs called Wildest Dreams. So
yeah, which recently she just dropped Taylor's version of, right? So
yeah,
we've been listening in on that.
And watching that video. I'm not going to complain about that one.
I had never seen the video until right before this.
Scott Eastwood.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Okay.
Okay.
Same old.
Had more sours than sweet this week.
Always. But yeah. What have you been watching? I know last time it was like Lucifer's.
Oh, okay. So I finished Lucifer. I finished it. No, I watched the last episode and I'm both happy about this and really, really not okay with it. But the ending was so good. I have to be okay with it. Like they can't make it any better than it was. So
remind me again how many episodes there are or seasons.
There are 6 seasons. I was like, wow, I don't know how many episodes, Sandra. That's putting me on the spot here. But there are 6 seasons. It was so good.
Yeah, I've only made my way through the second season. I don't know if I finished the second season, but it was cute. It was funny. I liked it. I can see what the appeal is on.
Okay, first of all, he has snark. And he has an accent. So like 2 for 2 on
that's all that matters,
like,
right?
Requirements right now.
Snark and a UK accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing new with me. Not reading anything still. I did watch the finale for Mr. Corman that recently dropped. So we'll get into those details on a later episode, I'm sure, because I have a lot of things to say. I'm sure you have a lot of things to say. Did you watch it?
I did. I watched it this morning. So
yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about that later.
Yep. But besides that, yeah, not playing anything, not really watching anything else or reading. So same old mom stuff, mom life.
We should be able to put those sunglasses on like Thug Life, like Mom Life. I don't know. It's kind of similar, right?
Yeah, I'm not that talented with adding
Come on now.
Effects. But
so, what are your sweet and sours?
Sweet and sour. So one sweet, I wrote this down and it's kind of fitting for the episode that we're doing today. But as you know, I've been having issues like sleeping. And so if I'm able to sleep and grab a little bit of rest and actually have a dream, I'm like over the moon about it. And so I actually dreamt about Taylor Swift. Like I met her and we became friends. And it was such a dorky dream. But I don't know. She seemed kind of lonely. And I feel like I'm always lonely.
Sympathize.
But she had like a bunch of people at her house and her house was like located in the middle of a desert for some reason. And yeah, so she had like invited some random people over and everyone was just hanging out. And she was a very gracious host and very sweet and kind and just very welcoming and warm. And I remember it just made me feel really good inside. Like, you know, someone's listening and sees me and cares. And then I woke up to
I hear that she actually does that where she invites some fans over to her house. Does she really? And, like, they have like a little, you know, meet and greet party kind of thing. So
that's cute.
Maybe it was a prophecy. Maybe you will meet her. And
hey,
if
Taylor,
you do,
call me.
You have to bring me along and Carly, because Carly loves Taylor Swift too.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I didn't know that. It's
a group
cute.
thing.
Yeah. So that was my sweet, a freaking dream, because you know I'm not going to get one out of real life. And then a sour it's like more stuff with my senior dog Bella, who's going to be 13 this December. So earlier this year in February, she was having all kinds of health problems and I thought she was going to die. And so they suspect that she has Cushing's disease and heart disease and all this other stuff. So now she's on a couple different medications, but I guess I have not been cutting her claws short enough. She has dark claws, so it's hard to tell like where, you know, the part that you're not supposed to cut starts. So I guess I haven't been cutting her nails short enough. And she did something to her back paw, and now her claws are like extended out and like bent upward. Yeah. And so I've been trying to find like a vet to take her to. So I've been trying to,
you're talking about me.
Yeah, that's the other one, Leia. So I've been trying to find a vet to take her to, but it's a weekend. So I'm gonna have to like figure out something.
Are there no emergency vets where you are? Like there's an emergency vet here that's all night.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it. I'm like, yeah, I'll have to look into that. So yeah, sour puppy stuff. They're like
my sour's not as, I guess, real as yours. My sour is that I have like a really big pimple right here right before filming of this. So like, don't look at this side of my face, guys, if you're watching the YouTube. But my sweet is that both of my kids had a soccer game this morning and they both did so good. Like Carly, as you know, because I've said this multiple times, is a little injury prone. And last season, she broke her foot in soccer. And so she's a little afraid of getting hurt again. And so she's a little timid on the field. So we've been trying to work with her to get a little more aggressive. And she did so good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a shout out to her coach, Jessica, because Jessica should be listening. So I'm just really proud of both of them. They did so good.
Go Carly and Michael.
They have athletic ability that I do not. So woohoo.
Yeah, that's all we can hope for, that our kids are more athletic than either of us.
Yeah, I mean, she did get my hurt yourself gene, but at least she did not get my athletic gene.
I don't know. She might have a long, painful life ahead of her, being accident prone.
But she handles it well. Like when she broke her foot, she still ran the entire field for like a good 10 minutes before she was like, okay, I'm crying. Like I need off. So
yeah,
she handles her pain well, I guess.
That's a good sweet. I like that one about your kids. I envy you. You're sour. I'm like, yeah, a pimple? Really, Tara? Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like surface level sour. But I also just don't like having a pimple when I'm like, I feel like I have to do this. Like those masks don't do me any favors when I have to wear them all day. Like just right here and
the mask knee. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so real. Oh, anyway, you want to get into it? Obviously, we don't need to drop any spoiler warnings because we're discussing a song that, come on, most people, I feel like a lot of people are Taylor Swift fans.
You should know.
Yeah, you should know.
Even if you're not a fan, you've probably heard it on the radio.
Yeah, it's such a great song, but it's been in other things. Like, what was that children's movie? The horse. Spirit? Was it in that? I feel like it was in one of those types of movies or something like that.
But
yeah.
Before we do that, because we've been forgetting this for the last 3 episodes, we need to tell you guys where you can find us on social media, which Sandra forgot again this time. I'm just going to point out. But you can find us at Story Darlings on Twitter, and then just Story Darlings on Facebook and Instagram as well. So, and at storydarlings.com if you're wanting to check out our website and subscribe to our newsletter.
Yeah. And Gmail. Like if you want to email us, like we would love to just interact. And if you have questions or ideas for what we could cover, we would love that. So storydarlings@gmail.com too. Very easy to find us.
Yeah. We made it easy because otherwise we would not remember these things either. So
mom brain, both of us, really bad.
Yes.
So yeah. Thanks for the self-promo reminder, Tara. But yeah, let's get into the song. So there's a music video for it. Hit me with who's in the video.
Scott Eastwood. And if you don't know who that is, he is Clint Eastwood's son.
One of them.
And he was, yeah, well, I don't know the other one, so he is the son that I know. But he is not bad on the eyes at all. He was in Fast and the Furious 2, like as well, not 2 as in the number 2, but he was in that one. And then he was also in The Longest Road, which is a Nicholas Sparks movie, and he was the cowboy in that movie. And yeah, you can't see my face, but he was good in that movie as well.
I haven't even heard of that movie. I think I stopped watching Nicholas Sparks movies after the Miley Cyrus one, or
oh, come on, The Longest Song is that one. But come on, like there was one with Channing Tatum, Dear John.
Oh yeah, I did watch that with Amanda. What's her face?
Seyfried?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Every time I see her, I think either Veronica Mars or Mean Girls, and I just cannot get over those two characters with her. Like I love her, but like Mean Girls, every time I'm just like, oh, I can tell it's raining when it's raining. Like, okay.
Good for you, Pat said.
Good job.
Yeah, I think of Mean Girls and Jennifer's Body, which we will do an episode for.
And we should do one on Veronica Mars too. I'm just saying.
Okay, I haven't seen that, so
I'll
have to catch up. Tara has seen way more stuff than me, and she's like more in tune with pop culture. I'm just like sitting here scratching my head, not knowing what's what 90% of the time.
Veronica Mars was like 2003-ish time frame, so it's a little old. But there was a new movie out a couple years ago and another season out just a couple years ago as well. Stars Kristen Bell. So
oh, I love her. Yeah,
I love her too. That was her first acting like gig, was Veronica Mars. It was great.
Interesting. Nice little tidbit.
Yeah. Lots of useless facts up in here. Nothing like needed though. So
Tara doesn't waste any space. It's all used up.
It is. There's no room for anything else.
So Scott Eastwood, which, so right before recording this episode was the first time I had ever seen the music video, and I did watch it a couple times. And I love Clint Eastwood. He's just one of those classic actors. Like when I think of a movie, like a film star, it's like Clint Eastwood is definitely up there. And there was like a moment in the very beginning of the music video where it pans to Scott Eastwood and he like turns his face to the camera, and it's like just the right angle to where you see Clint Eastwood, and it just like gave me chills.
He looks so much like Clint, and Clint reminds me of my grandpa for some reason. Like, I don't know, he just does. And so I'm like, I feel this connection with both of them. I wish I were really connected with both of them, but you know.
Yeah. So I starting the video, I already loved it from there. And then we have a femme fatale looking Tay, dark hair, the classic red lip, queen of cat eye liner.
Yeah. I love that. Like it looks like she's like a star from way back when, like Clint's time, you know. And I just love that look on Taylor, like the hair and the makeup and the lips, and like it's just, I think I should have been born in like the 20s or the 40s, whatever era that was. It should have been where I was. But then there weren't podcasts then, so you know, maybe I shouldn't have been. I don't know.
You could have been a lounge singer or something. You're like, no,
nobody
you don't want to listen to me sing.
Nobody wants that. So do you want to get into the song?
Yeah, let's go into the song. But it's like, I guess to back up, one of the reasons that we're doing the song is not only just because the song Taylor's version of it just dropped, but also just for a Story Darlings podcast. Taylor Swift is one of the most prolific, like just beautifully constructing storytellers out there. She just draws on so much personal experience and is able to tell a story through song and her lyrics that she writes
Mm-hmm.
in a way that relates to literally anyone of any age, whether they're a man, a woman, whatever. And I don't know, I feel like she gets dismissed a lot of times because people have this mindset of Taylor being, that young girl that came out on the scene singing country music, whenever she has just like evolved into so much more than that. And I just have such an appreciation for her and her songs. Like, they hit so hard. And this
Mm-hmm.
song has meant a lot to me recently, and I've just been finding myself blasting it on loop. But I mean, as far as storytelling goes, Taylor's just one of the best.
Yeah, she finds a way to get a connection in every song. Like, even songs that, like her newest album with the No Body, No Crime,
Mhm.
like I can't connect that. I've never murdered anybody, never been there. But you can find a connection. Like, you feel like that's your friend going through that, and you want to help get rid of the body, and I've never done
Help
it.
you.
Do not call the police, guys. Never been there, but like, you feel a connection to that person. And so, yeah, every single song you can find some way of connecting. And I agree with you. There are those naysayers that are like, oh, she only writes about this, or she only writes about this, or she bases it all on her boyfriends or whatever. And like you said, she writes from her experience. And so if that's her experience, then why not? That brings an authentic song to the mix. So yeah,
Yeah.
I love Taylor. So don't come at me.
Yeah. Come at us. Okay. Say something. No, I feel like that's one of the reason why the people that don't like her complain is that they argue that she draws on her personal experience too much and airs out the
Mm-hmm.
laundry and
What
blah
else
blah
is she
blah. But
supposed
it's
to
like she's an artist. I mean, it's not like she's you know shitting all over
name
people.
name one other artist that doesn't draw on personal experience? Like,
I know.
name one that has never wrote a song about a personal experience in their life that anybody has connected to.
Yeah. It's not her fault that she is in the spotlight and people are so in tune with every little thing that she does. And so they just draw their own conclusions whenever she releases a song and, point it to some aspect of her life. Like, I'm sure she tries to be as private as she can, but that's just one of the challenges that she faces. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. One of the things I always appreciated about her is, yeah, she uses these personal experiences to tell these stories to share with everyone. But the fact that, it might be obvious about who a song is about, but it's not like she's crapping all over them. She treats everyone that she has dated or, been friends with, even like Selena Gomez. She they are so special to her even after that relationship has ended. And
Mm-hmm.
so she doesn't get into these relationships for,
Fame
shallow
or
reasons. Yeah. Like, it's because she genuinely had a deep connection with them on a human level. And so they're very special to her. So when she writes these songs about that experience, I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to share that.
yeah. And if she says something bad about you, it's probably because you did something bad. I
You're
had an
probably a
ex-boyfriend.
piece of shit.
Yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend. I wasn't gonna go that far, but yeah, you probably are. I had an ex-boyfriend of mine like get mad at me one time because I was talking bad about him. I'm like, but did you do the things I'm saying? And he's like, well, yeah. I'm like, then I'm not talking bad about you. I'm telling the truth. There is a difference. I am allowed to tell the negative things that you did and them still be the truth, whether or not you like the fact that you did the negative things. That's on you. And so if she is talking bad about you, then maybe you need to like think about what you did and how you treated her and whether or not that was right.
Preach.
Sorry. But
Let's get into the
do you
song.
do you know when this song came out for the first time? I feel like it was like in the early 2000s.
When
Does
did
that sound right?
When did 1989, that album, come out?
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like 1989 was
remember.
probably like her 5th or 6th album or something like that. I don't know. I think it was that album, but I'm not sure.
I'm gonna have to look
Why?
that up.
Yeah. Why do
Because
you
I
ask?
remember this song, like I remember it during like my college years when I was first getting a feeling of, that first love, and I don't know, the whimsy of that. And I don't know, I always bring this song back to that time where, I had those wildest dreams where this guy would really think back and be like, man, we should have been together, things like that. And that's just always in my mind when I hear this song, is back to that time where I had the same feelings as she is saying in this one, where she wants the guy to like remember her and wish and all those things. So I feel like it came out then. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just projecting that on a time frame.
I'm gonna say like 2005, 2006, somewhere in there.
Yeah, like 22. I just aged myself. You can do that math then.
It's okay. I've already said my age in a previous episode. But yeah, the lyrics to this song, it's not about ego. I don't think, it's not about ego at all. Wanting to be that person that your ex remembers and kind of being that one that got away type of thing,
Yeah.
But like I was kind of saying earlier with Taylor, and I'm sure you treated relationships this way, and I treated relationships this way. When you pick someone to be, in a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, romantic relationship with, it's because you feel connected to that person and you want to see, where the two of you can go, and hopefully you grow together and don't grow apart, right? But it's kind of, go on.
I think that was all that she was trying to say there. Is like, this is a person, I mean, in her lyrics, he's so tall and handsome as hell. She's saying that she had that connection with him. She was attracted to him.
Yeah, that's the chemistry, the physical thing.
Yeah, they had chemistry
first.
and she wanted him. And for a little while, it sounds like she had him, but then it did not work out. And she wants him to remember the good times, basically. Remember me the way I want you to remember me, not maybe some of the bad times that followed that initial.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about because in the song, I mean, she does not give a specific reason why the relationship ended. It was just something that came to a close. The music video kind of makes it seem like they were co-stars, right? That fell in love. And it happens all the time, like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, like whatever. And then after the film, after the filming is done, sometimes it just ends and it's not bad. It's not good. But I think either we tend to fixate on all of the negative experiences that happened with something and kind of downplay all of the good times, or the kind of the opposite happens where we think back to a relationship with this romanticizing, like, oh, all of these great things, and then deny and avoid all of the really crappy, terrible things that happen. So I feel like we're very prone to do it both ways.
It depends on what you took out of that relationship.
Yeah.
If you ended it bad and you were mad, you probably can't see any of the good. But if you were the one that like wanted it to continue, I feel like you probably more than likely remember the good out of it instead of the bad. But
yeah. It's a great song.
I hope all of my ex-boyfriends remember me standing in a nice dress.
Right?
Yeah.
Back when there was occasion to wear dresses.
Yes. Back when we weren't stuck in the house wearing our sweatpants all the time. Don't remember me my sweatpants, guys. That's not the
look
image I'm going for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, I think, and this goes to your point that you made earlier, I almost said Tara, but that's my name, Sandra, um, about how she really wanted a connection with everybody and she doesn't try to like pull them down because she had a negative experience. Like this song, she's not pulling anybody down. It ended for whatever reason it ended, but she wants the good. She wants the good to be remembered. So don't remember the bad, remember the good. And she's whimsical about it. Like, I don't know. I haven't handled very many relationships ending with a whimsical vibe of let's just remember like that one time where we were happy, you know? It's always been like, I hate you. Leave me alone kind of a thing. So she's been more mature than I have with those. But
and yeah, oh my God, I wholeheartedly agree. I feel the same way too. But it's like, if you think about it, my ideal self, what I would aspire to be or want to aspire to be, is if a relationship like that ends, I don't want to harbor resentment and hatred and all of this stuff, because like you spend so many months, years, whatever length of time with someone, you don't just want to throw that chunk of your life away. Like we only have so many years on this earth. And it's like, I would rather be able to look at those good times and appreciate all of the lessons I learned and the personal growth that I had in that relationship with that person. It's a shame to throw that away and just, stop talking to that person cold turkey, like it never existed. And that's so heartbreaking to me. Like I would love to be the type of person that's still able to, in some capacity, carry on some kind of relationship or acquaintance or something with that person, because at one point there was something, some quality, some spark, some connection that drew me to that person, that magnetic pull, and I wanted them to be a part of my life in some way. And it's so sad to just like brush it off and move on with your life, and everyone goes their separate way and never ever speaks to each other ever again.
Yeah, there's so much lost in that. You can't grow if you don't ever want to try to figure out what went wrong or what could have been better. Not saying you need to get back in the relationship, but you can learn from the end of the relationship just as much as you can learn throughout the relationship.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to argue that everyone should keep communicating with their exes. There are some legitimate relationships that crashed and burned where someone was just not a good person and having a very toxic negative effect on the other. Obviously, that's not healthy and you don't deserve to be in that kind of relationship. But I think that's the exception most times. I feel like most relationships end because people just grow apart. They grow differently. Different things matter. They each carry their own set of values, and that's what happens.
Yep.
But
I liked your point earlier about Taylor and, wanting to keep that connection like you're saying. I know that she is still friends with, even though there have been multiple songs written about this, but like Joe Jonas. She sent their baby a little baby present that she made during lockdown. So she wants to hold on to those connections, like you're saying, and, grow with them. It's not the same connection that maybe she had at one point, but a connection of some sort. And I think that that's very mature.
Oh yeah. It takes a big person to do that,
And to not just be like, you cheated on me, dude.
Yeah, you're dead to me.
I hate you.
Which that's okay. In some situations that's totally okay. But it's so incredible of her as a human being to be able to just, put ego away, put all of that past shit away and just be like, hey, I care about you as a person. And I genuinely hope that you're happy in your life now.
And I think I might be a little jealous or whatever, but I think it's also big of his wife, Sophie, to like be comfortable, because Taylor Swift's awesome. So like your husband
imagine your husband
is getting like presents from Taylor Swift, who's his ex, and I don't know, I would just be like,
I'm not comfortable with that.
It's okay. Like I'm just not as, I guess, comfortable with myself in that sense, that if Taylor Swift was an ex-girlfriend of my current.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back
I
to
would be a
like,
little
yeah,
jealous, a little, I don't know. What's the word? I don't know the word, but like, I don't know that I'd
possessive,
be
jealous,
comfortable
a
with
little,
that.
yeah. It's all about like the self-confidence aspect of it,
Yeah.
right?
I'm not on
Yeah.
Taylor's level. Taylor's like way up here, and I'm like
She's,
right
she's
here, you know?
which that's okay, but it goes back to the conversation that we were having on an earlier episode, Mr. Corman and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's literally all life is people walking around carrying their baggage, and all of that baggage affects how they interact with everybody else. That's
Mm-hmm.
all it is. And it's okay to feel insecure and jealous and possessive and things like that, but yeah, it takes a big person to end on a good note with someone and just to keep caring. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that about
Or
her.
or to admit, like, she didn't end on the greatest note with Joe Jonas. Like, let's just be honest. They did not end on the greatest. She was like 18, like you're a little immature at that age.
And who's
But
not an
she
idiot when they're 18?
yeah, yeah. But she had the maturity later on, and hey, maybe I didn't handle that the best. Maybe you didn't handle that the best. Let's come together and, work it out.
Yeah, I love that.
And I
That's how
think
you
that
grow.
takes,
Mhm.
yeah, that takes strength. Like, yeah.
There's so much energy and time, like I said, just literal years or however long of your life that goes into nurturing and developing a relationship with another human being, that it is a shame to just throw it all away. And so, yeah, kudos to
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift for being able to have these moments where she's able to reflect without any kind of hatred or dislike or any kind of shame. She just tells the story, and it's always relatable to literally everyone who has ever fallen in love with someone and it hasn't worked out. It's just it hits so good to the soul.
Okay, be honest. Did you ever crank this and cry yourself to sleep? Not this song, but Taylor Swift in general, like after a bad breakup. I have a couple songs that I'm like, these are my Taylor Swift breakup songs. And every time I hear them, I go back to that place where we broke up and like remember exactly how it felt.
Yeah. Taylor Swift is not the only artist though that I've done that with, but it's
No.
like it typically is like me sulking in my room in bed,
Yep. Check.
and blasting the music. And so, you're just crying, your eyes are puffy, you're swollen, you're snorting sometimes, depending on how hard you're crying. And then sometimes you just pass out. The music is still going in the background, you pass out, or it's like in your car. It can even be her happier music where it's more
Mm-hmm.
like, empowering, and it makes you feel where you just want to like scream the song at the top of your lungs while you're driving down the road
Yeah.
to feel better and let some of that
Personal
tension
experience
out.
there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Everyone loves a crying girl driving down the road. It's just like
so
mascara.
People in Northwest Arkansas, if you see Sandra driving down the road crying, send me an email, okay? Just storydarlings@gmail. Hey, just saw Sandra.
Sandra
Let me
sighting.
know.
Yeah. It's embarrassing. Oh my God.
No, I've been there too. I've been there too, where I don't know. It's not very safe though, so I don't recommend it. If you are crying that hard, pull over, okay? Pull over.
True. Very true. Yep.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say embarrassing. It's good to let your feelings out and to process your emotions. Like, it's good and healthy. Everyone should do
Mm-hmm.
it. Have a good cry. It's good for the soul. It helps you move forward. There's nothing wrong with it. So correcting what I said. Thank you for sharing that on this podcast.
um, well, Sandra, do you want to get into the charity that we have selected for this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a ton of people who are Taylor Swift fans and have seen this video and who followed her in any capacity on social media and just, pop culture news outlets and stuff like that have heard of this charity. But there was like this big thing back in the day when this music video first came out, because the story in the music video is she's co-starring with Scott Eastwood. They're on a film set, and the film is being it's being filmed in like the African plains, basically. So there are lions in the background and giraffes, and you see the like you see the country, like different parts of the country behind them in the music video. So there were a lot of people that said she was cashing in on all of this, and so she turned around and donated all proceeds of the music video to this organization, which is the African Parks Foundation of America. And so I feel like that's a good one to keep it going. It makes sense, you know, have all different ones we have. Yeah.
So if you guys do want to look up that charity, we are going to link it in our show notes on our website, which is storydarlings.com. So go visit it.
Yeah. It's I want to go to Africa. Like that's one of the places on my list that I've always wanted to just go to.
Like a little safari.
Yeah, I've been to all over Asia, Italy, Mexico, but I have never gone to Africa. And I just think it would be so cool.
I want to go anywhere at all.
Yeah, anywhere would be nice. Yeah, it's been a few years. There's pandemic.
I've not been to any like anywhere international besides on a cruise.
See, I haven't even done the cruise thing.
I haven't been, like, I want to go to Europe too, so bad.
Wait, like, Italy, is there a country?
Italy and England and Ireland and Scotland, and like I hope one day to take my kids. Okay, girls trip next year. Let's do this. That's where like my family is from, is the Italy, or not the Italy, wow, the England and the Ireland, but my husband's side is like the Italy. And so like I want my kids to go experience where we came from originally.
Yeah, that's such a good thing to experience, especially for kids. They just don't know how good they have it. I'm trying to imagine Vincent going to like the Philippines or something, and he would probably freak out. It's just, it's good
there's
to
no
experience.
Wi-Fi, Mom. There's no Wi-Fi.
There's no drinkable running water. Yeah, plumbing. The things that we experience in life. Hopefully one day though, we'll get out of this pandemic and be able to do fun things. We've been talking about a girls trip forever, and I would absolutely love to do that with you.
We have yet to be on this. I think our last trip together was spring break, our senior year of college.
Panama City Beach.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a very interesting experience.
Oh yeah, that's
very
one word
interesting.
For it. It was very fun. Were so many. I mean, it was fun, but for me, there were definitely some ups and downs. I was dating someone at the time on that trip, and there was like drama. But yeah, I mean, it was fun.
I had just broken up with somebody, so there was less drama for me. But yeah,
you were the smart one. Go on a trip single, so you don't have to deal with it. You got sunburned.
Well, yeah. Well, I was the palest person there, so like the pictures are not the greatest. Like my skin tone did not do well with the sun after the first day. I
feel like we need to dust some of those old photos off and just share a couple of random ones on Twitter or something like that, just to share a little bit about us back in the day.
Yeah.
In our awkwardness.
Prior to kids, and when I weighed less, and all of those fun things. But
life happens, and people like Taylor Swift are there to sing about it and help us. Move
I feel like I grew up with Taylor, so like I feel like she's my best friend too, like the third. So Taylor,
I love that. Go listen.
I feel like, you should be my best friend, so we should make that happen.
But Tara's my best friend, so I'm not being jealous or possessive.
Well, go visit us on Story Darlings. All of the handles and maybe you'll see a throwback picture or two on there.
I'll make sure to find a good one, an embarrassing one.
I have one in my mind, not an embarrassing one, Sandra. I have one in my mind. It might be a little embarrassing, but I think we were laying on the beach. I don't know why I had a skirt on, but I had a skirt on and my bikini top. I think I was trying to avoid the sun as much as possible, guys, like sunburn.
Sounds
it was a real thing. And then you were also in your bikini. We were like laying out next to each other, and Ray was in the picture.
Oh my God.
Do you know what picture I'm talking about? Okay,
yes.
Like that's the one that like just popped in my head when
I'm probably not going to share that one on social media unless I like superimpose like an emoji over him, but I'll think about it. Those are the days.
Oh, how about when we were getting ready? We could do that one.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Shots, we getting ready. Although that one might not be appropriate either, because like I think we were in our bra, like we hadn't put our shirts on yet by the time that.
I can doodle shirts on us. It'll be we'll keep social shirts rated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can do it.
Oh, but bottom line here, guys, go visit. You might see some of these pictures. You might get a little more insight into Tara and Sandra during college. So, yeah.
And if you love Taylor Swift, I mean, tweet at us, gush about her. If you don't like Taylor Swift, don't at us.
Come at us.
I mean,
come at us
if you want.
We can bring you to the dark side.
Yeah, we can talk about it. But yeah. We hope you enjoyed this. If you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, do us a solid and go over and leave us a review or give us a rating. And yeah, is that all for self-promo on this episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know of any other self-promo that we need to do. You can also tell us that we were pretty, and that you didn't see my pimple, or whatever you want. How about that?
Tara is stuck on the pimple people.
I am. I need somebody to validate that you can't really see this thing. Okay.
On that note, we're going to close this down. We're going to shut her down. Okay.
Have a great day.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.